welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with...
Elizabeth Helly.
And...
Tyler Hymanson.
Oh!
Who is... I'm local, by the way, in case you want to know. I'm from here.
No, you're not.
Oh.
You look weird.
We don't take kindly to your time.
Yeah. Eliz is the only one who counts as a local.
Yeah. No, I grew up here on the Universal backlot.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
I mean, I have been going to the Universal backlot since I was probably 5.
Well,
Back when Fievel's Playland was
yeah.
there.
Well, if you haven't figured it out by now, listener, I mean, all the clues are there for what we're talking about this week.
Yeah, I gave you all the clues, Beethoven. Oh man. Yes. Our impeccable timing has struck yet again, and we're here talking about the spookiest Beethoven movie just in time for Halloween. Just kidding, we missed by several weeks. I had no idea there'd be a spooky Beethoven, but that's exciting, and that's what we're talking about this week, Beethoven's Fifth. But before we get into it, Eliz, where can people reach out to us?
Yeah, send us an email at sequelrights@gmail.com with your comments and questions and suggestions. And you can find us on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights.
And please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars would be appreciated. It helps other people find the podcast, feeds the algorithm, and we really appreciate it.
All right, everybody, grab those Peruvian crystals and hold on tight. It's Beethoven's Fifth.
Beethoven?
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 Beethoven!
Go, Beethoven!
America's most beloved Saint Bernard is back
Beethoven! Want to come over and play?
in Beethoven's Fifth.
Most people would have just said hello.
Embark on an all-new action-filled adventure with secrets, ghosts, and hidden treasure that only Beethoven can find.
What is it, boy?
It's the doggone tale that Beethoven fans have been begging for.
Thank you.
Sit, roll over, and enjoy the ride. Featuring Dave Thomas, John Larroquette, Kathy Griffin, and Faith Ford.
I'd be happy to give you a tune-up anytime. I mean, your car.
Look for this and other great Beethoven movies. Beethoven's Fifth.
Wait. Was there a sound in there where it sounded like Beethoven said, "You're welcome"?
Yeah.
Yes. No, it also had the Scooby-Doo scrambling sound effect where like the ghosts and money makes it sound like a Scooby-Doo episode.
I mean, it basically is.
Basically is Scooby-Doo.
By the time we got to the end, I was like, oh no, yeah, this is definitely Scooby-Doo.
And I would have gotten away for it too if it weren't for Beethoven.
So last week, I had mentioned that I had briefly seen something in the trailer on accident for this week's movie. And the thing I saw was that there were ghosts. And I was like, what? Why are there ghosts? Oh, God. What? All I have to say is, you guys, we gave last week's movie a 1. So I don't know if that was the smartest idea. But here we are talking about Beethoven's Fifth.
I gave it a 2, so there's somewhere to go.
No,
and I was wise.
no. I mean, okay, so Beethoven is best, not the dog, the composer is best known for his Fifth, and that's the one everybody knows. And so you think, wow, they're finally on Beethoven's Fifth. Like, this franchise has been begging for this moment since they first named him Beethoven. Like, they had to get here. It was destiny. It always had to happen. I bet they're going to do something really awesome and cool and big.
Yeah, they were like, Dave Thomas doesn't want to do it. Did you tell him it was for the 5th movie? Oh, Beethoven's Fifth. Yes, I'm in.
Yeah. So instead of, doing something that would pay homage to the 2 classics that everybody loves, they instead decided to probably pick up like an old Nancy Drew or Harriet the Spy script and insert Beethoven into it.
That's right.
So the plot on IMDb is my favorite. The storyline is Sarah Newton in Beethoven spends summer with Freddie Kablinsky in Quicksilver, a weird town.
I love that. Like, also, I don't know, there must be like one line of dialogue that says like, "I'm Sarah Newton from the Newton family," and I missed that explanation somewhere. And when I later went, because I was like, how is it? So this one's not connected at all. I thought the entire movie. And then, reading the end credits and also the Wikipedia, I was like, oh, that was supposed to be Sarah Newton?
Well, you might be confused because the parents in the previous movie would never have put their daughter alone on a public bus.
That's true.
On a Greyhound.
No, it's because she had
With
no
Beethoven.
choice because she got kicked out of camp for refusing to use the outhouse.
She
Sure.
didn't get kicked out. She got asked to leave.
Yeah. And luckily, John Larroquette from Meatballs 4 is here to also be a bad guy.
Oh, yeah. You know, like...
Spoiler alert.
I know. The thing I did like about that is like he's in the movie very early on, super briefly, and then you don't see him at all again until like very much at the end of the movie when it's like, haha, he's a bad guy.
When
And
I saw the
kinda
credits, I was like, oh, the bad guy's obviously John Larroquette.
Yeah. But by the
Yeah.
time you get to like, the 1 hour, 15-minute mark when he comes back in of a 90-minute movie, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he was in this.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
I think they made an attempt to make you think it was Kathy Griffin or the librarian guy.
Yeah.
No, they did, but then like the movie almost shames you because it comes back. It's like, of course I want the money, you idiots.
Yeah. You thought
That's
it was the
basically how
Jay
it's
Giles
justified.
band? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, so we reached the point in the Universal franchise where the only reason this one got made is because they had an opening and some Universal owned property that they could film on for free.
Yeah, this movie's filmed 100% on the back lot. Like every minute is on the back lot. The town is what I think Colorado Street.
Mhm.
The main library, the town square, that's the Back to the Future.
Yep.
What was the other show? Ghost Whisperer Town Square that they would always say on the tour. Like if you look behind this facade, it's actually the Back to the Future building, but right now it's the Ghost Whisperer for the last 10 years or however long that show was on. So they just used that. And then the Freddy's house is the Chicken Ranch house. It's not the Bates Motel or the Bates house. And it's not necessarily on Wisteria Lane, but it's like around the corner.
It was funny, like one of the first times the bus is driving through the back lot, you can see like they didn't even try to cover up some of the like electrical equipment like in the back down one of the streets. I was like, oh wow, okay, they're not even trying it.
Yeah, and some of the shots too, you can see like the Jaws village over the hill, and like, if they tilted the camera the wrong way, you would have seen the Hollywood sign.
Yep, it's pretty funny.
Or the Grinch place.
But hey, if it allowed us to have another Beethoven movie, then so be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Bring It On ended up there? Because I mean, I feel like that's the first time that we've seen that truly happen.
That was Universal Florida, and that was Bring It On 4?
I was just trying to think of what the subtitle was and if we could come up with some sort of rule
In It
for
to
that,
Win
but I
It,
guess we'll
I think.
come back to that later.
Was it In It to Win It?
I thought
Or
In It
was
to
it-
Win It. That was the first
In It to
one.
Win It, I like that because Universal Studios is In It to Win It.
That was
with
the
you.
first one that came.
I think it was In It to Win It, because Fight to the Finish was the one with Christina Milian.
Yeah, I think it was In It to Win It.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. I'm kidding.
But yeah, Universal. I mean, this was less egregious than that, because if you weren't us and you weren't me, that's been going on that backlot tour since I was 5, you
Sure.
may not realize that it's 100%
Yeah.
on the lot.
You just see that a couple of buildings in Back to the Future Square, and you'd like probably be like, "Oh man, those feel really familiar to me for some reason, but I can't quite place it."
Yeah, I can't quite place it.
That looks really familiar. But that's funny. I think it's actually isn't it like a big anniversary for Back to the Future right now? Like,
I believe it is.
Yeah, I thought that was funny that we got to see a movie in that little town square. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, it's really weird that it's just like a straight up Western mining town for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, because there's no like current time town there, really.
Sure.
There's like
yes.
old New York, there's new New York, there's like the Mexico street, there's like European area, and then this Colorado street is the closest you get to like America.
Yeah.
So it's like a pioneer town where there's crazy people, but then Kathy Griffin runs a very fancy drugstore.
Well, everyone there, which this is a joke, played as a joke, but everyone there is suffering from like generational mercury poisoning.
Yeah. This movie has a lot of things it plays as a joke that I'm like, what? Who?
Like, this movie could have
agreed
taken
this?
a right turn and become like Aaron Brockovich. Like, like the town is poisoning the people with mercury water.
And Beethoven's taking this to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least one person says they use mercury because it's not that bad for them, right?
Yes.
So one of the townsfolk is actively taking it. I guess. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, because the town's fortunes dried up when people realized mercury was toxic.
How dare they?
Yeah, but so Sarah Newton's in town for a month visiting her Uncle Freddie.
I guess we buried the lead here because that's actually not where the movie starts.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Because the movie actually starts in the past.
So remember that Tyler and I are both watching on a 6 DVD set of 8 movies or something like that. And so I'm watching it off of like a portable USB DVD player attached to my Microsoft Surface, attached to the TV through an HDMI cord.
No.
And so it starts showing these old-timey cars driving, and then someone's name pops on the screen, and the screen just stops. And I thought that, my DVD player is, lapsing, but it's actually an intentional pause in the old-timey footage. Each time someone's name pops up on the credits, like as if they didn't pause this nonsensical footage, I wouldn't have time to read Dave Thomas's name.
Well, no, they didn't have enough of the sepia-tinged footage to use, so they actually had to time it out.
Got it.
You're probably right.
So I just thought it was like my little tiny DVD player, but it was intentional.
Yes, this gangster story that's in this movie was intentional. They meant to put it in.
Did they ever explain why they have a dog on the front of their car?
No.
I thought that was going to connect somehow, but
You know why? It's because they're just like Bonnie and Clyde. Except,
the movie.
nope, that's it.
That's right.
They're just like Bonnie and Clyde.
No,
in fact, we'll have several characters just say that.
yeah. They said please and thank you when they robbed people, though, apparently.
What were their names? Rita and Mo?
Rita and Mo Selig.
Mo Selig.
Selig. Yeah, something like that.
The dude who plays Mo has kind of like a crazy, like he's a director and he did like Idle Hands and did a bunch of TV.
Oh, wow.
And did like the Conan O'Brien documentary. I was like, he's the most interesting IMDb that I was like, huh?
That is weird.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay. I have Child Star check-in later.
Yes.
That we'll get to. Yeah, but so we see this thing, and it's these two people, and they're notorious outlaws of Quicksilver. And then, yes, Justin, you did miss it. She does have a monologue about how she is Sarah Newton, and this is her beloved dog, Beethoven. And, the years are a bit fuzzy here, but I at least could ostensibly believe that, like, character-wise, that girl could have ended up to be this girl, maybe. I don't know, white people, right? Like, she seemed pretty chill, but when she was little, but I could see her becoming kind of fussy.
I mean, you mean the girl that was just like making an assembly line of eggs to Beethoven? Just here's a hard-boiled egg. I don't know. I feel like that girl is going to be totally fine with an outhouse.
Yeah, apparently not.
I like that, me having no idea that it was Sarah Newton has absolutely no effect on the story or anything. Like it could just be a girl
and the
with
funny
Beethoven.
thing is, I guess she had
whatever.
taken Beethoven with her to camp in the first place.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I don't know why that was allowed. But okay.
Especially because the family is just going off to whatever European, like they must be in the
They're in the
CIA or
Bahamas
something.
this time.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
The Bahamas.
And so thankfully they sent her to Uncle Freddie instead of sending her to live with that horrible Judge Reinhold family, like what they did to poor Beethoven those 2 years. So yeah, she's here with her Uncle Freddie Kablinski, which I guess you're meant to believe that Bonnie Hunt's character's maiden name was Kablinski and this is her brother.
I guess, yeah.
I guess.
Although Dave Thomas kind of does look like, what's his name? The guy from the first movie.
Charles
the dad.
Grodin?
Yeah, like
he
I thought they
does.
kind of looked alike, and then I was like, no, wait, they must be saying it's the mom's brother then, because he doesn't have their last name.
Yeah, that would make more
But
sense.
who knows? Unless George and the other guy, Newton's dad, who abused them on the road trip, got remarried and had another kid who took his mother's name or something. I don't know.
You guys,
whatever.
the
That's too
Beethoven
complicated.
backstory is so deep. That's
Yeah.
why there's so many fanfics out there.
There's
If
a
you're
lot of
tracking
pain,
it. Yeah,
pain in that history,
a lot of pain.
generational
Oh, God.
trauma.
Oh, God.
Anyway, I did like that she had like a Little Mermaid monologue because she was like, we're off to the middle of what's that word again? Nowhere. I was like, street? Like, like, how do you not remember the word nowhere?
Is this before? Have we met Garrett yet?
Garrett.
No, but we can. Yeah, we should have had Garrett on.
As soon
We
as
should have.
because they said his name so many times, I was like, oh man, we could have been like Garrett with the soundboard.
Garrett. He's just the neighborhood kid.
Yeah,
And
but
he's around
not-
for
He's
the
the only one that
adventure.
doesn't have mercury poisoning yet.
yeah, which makes him the smartest kid in the town. according
Well,
to
he
Dave
might
Thomas.
not be that smart because he thinks Machu Picchu is lost.
Yeah, but he made that up. The lost city of Machu Picchu. Oh God, I thought that was stupid, and then I was glad to find out that it was a fake. It was not
Yeah,
a
me
real
too.
thing.
It wasn't just lazy writing.
But other than him, the town is completely populated with minor
Character
character
actors.
actors. Yeah. That all pop in to show off their various chosen quirk. And probably each came on set for a day.
Yeah, there was so many times, Clint Howard is in this, and he's pretty
Yep.
much in a wetsuit, diving suit the entire time. And there were a couple times where they just show him like walking around in the background or across the screen for a second. And I just I was just thinking like, man, that guy just got up and was like, yep, I guess I'm going to do this for today. They got me in a lake, like whatever. I'm Clint Howard. I'll do it.
Like, if I didn't know better that the studio system doesn't exist anymore, I would have said, like, these are all people that are on contract for Universal and, like, can't leave the lot and just have to be in whatever movie.
They were doing
like,
chores that day. Yeah.
that Universal forces them to be in.
So you can either be in Beethoven 5 or it's back on the cart for you.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in the part of the dive team in the other movie? Well, we don't have time to change your costume, so we'll write it into the script. You're a crazy guy who thinks it's too wet. Yeah,
Or dry.
exactly. Oh, God. Clint Howard. Hilarious.
Like, Kathy Griffin, who's like shocking. Well, okay, I know some people don't find her funny at all, but I sometimes have. But in this, her character is just nothing.
Yeah.
A big nothing burger, like of, oh, I have a dog. Like, do anything.
She has a dog, and she, it's just another one of the people that hates people who aren't locals.
Yeah.
And doesn't want, and she doesn't want to like sell her lip gloss or whatever. Yeah. I
Thank
don't
God Sarah's not black.
know. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Town would have ran her out. If they can't even handle a lily white, like, little girl, and says she doesn't look local enough, like that to me is code word for her.
Yeah.
This would be even worse if you were any ethnicity.
Also, like, yeah, what was she wearing that made her not look local? It just looked like she had everyone was wearing regular clothes. I don't know.
She had high-waisted slacks.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not like Kathy Griffin was dressed like she worked in a fucking mining town either.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
I don't know. I guess they.
Speaking of her clothes, though, I did like the fact that she had little Beethoven PJs. That was cute.
yeah.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. I guess they.
Thank
were
you,
just,
Big Dogs, for being a brand at that time.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I guess it's just a small town, so they would have known everybody anyways. So you could point out anyone who wasn't someone you saw every day.
I suppose so.
This movie came out in 2003, and it feels like it could have came out in 1988. Like, it really does feel. It's almost timeless in that way. It's kind
There's
of
no
impressive,
phones,
honestly.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he does use a cell phone. Dave Thomas uses a cell phone at the end,
Oh, okay.
which I
guess.
thought was weird because they're like I think you're right. There's like almost no phones, but at the end when he needs to call, when the wires have bin cut on his truck, he makes a phone call from
and it
the
has, like,
side of the
bouncing
road.
vest.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but I guess if she's 12, she may have not had a phone in 2003. I think I was still sharing at that point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they weren't quite as ubiquitous. I can't even talk. Ubiquitous.
There weren't as many.
they weren't as ubiquitous. I can't talk. I'm tired.
I wasn't going to attempt to say it.
I'm tired.
No, I can't.
Yeah,
You got in my head. Ubiquitous. I did it.
There you go.
Ubiquitous.
Yes, ubiquitous. We can do it. Big words here on Sequel Rights.
Yes. It's the word of the day. It's the word of the day.
I'm a teenager. I can say big words. Shut up, Sarah Newton. You're only 12. What are you talking about?
I mean, I don't have that much to say about it. Okay, so if we're going to talk about things that are strangely played as jokes, let's talk about drunk driving.
Yes. Oh my God. That's what I was talking about. I'm like, how did that get through to be like, let's make a gag out of a drunk driving situation?
Not even a gag, like a rom-com, meet cute they try to make it out of, too.
Both. But
after taking some kids to a moonshine distillery.
That was funny. The kid was
by the way, Garrett already knows everything about the various types of stills available.
Yeah. I did kind of like that scene where she's like, well, if I hypothetically had a still, and then he kept asking further questions about it. But yeah, this whole drunk driving thing was very poor taste in my opinion. And it's a family film, and the kids are like, haha, you got pulled over by the cops.
Yeah, I mean,
let's put the dog in the front seat.
He gets moonshine sprayed all over him. So yes, he smells like alcohol. Okay, fine. But then instead of just explaining what happened when they pull him over, he's just kind of like, I don't know. Here's the dog.
Dave Thomas's character in this movie can't fucking help himself.
Yeah. He's weird in this movie. Yeah. I don't know. What else did I want to talk about? One thing I loved about this movie, there's not a lot to love about the movie, but I did enjoy whoever had the strange idea of the library with all the dead cats. Yes. At one point they they're trying to figure out information about Rita and Mo and where they might have hidden their, pile of money, which is the whole movie. They're trying to figure out where this money came from. And they go to the library and they're like, yeah, the library was donated from this person who really loved cats. And part of the stipulation was we had to keep the cats here. And so there's all these dead
taxidermied cats.
Yeah. And some of them look like normal cats and other ones look like they're all fucked up. And someone fire that taxidermist. They fucked up your cat. And I just love that they're just all over that place. And it was really creepy. And there's one point where... okay, all the cats are dead. And there's one point where they are in there sneaking around with Dave Thomas and Beethoven and everyone. And of course, Beethoven gets wrapped around some of the bookshelves and knocks over all the bookshelves. And it knocks over one of these cats. And as it goes over the second floor, their balcony or whatever, it makes like a no, there's like a sound effect of a cat going as it falls into an aquarium, which I thought was great.
There's also a giant aquarium, yeah for some reason.
Yeah.
But
I'm like,
well, when all the cats are dead, you can actually have an aquarium.
Yeah. Why did they put that sound effect in there if the cats are all dead?
It was the ghost of the cat.
I think that shot's actually in that trailer.
Yeah. Oh, God.
All right. There's two things that what you said made me think of. Okay, the first is, Eliz, the drunk driving thing isn't even the most egregious part of this movie. The most egregious part of this movie is the shop owner with a gambling problem that might have a different problem.
Oh, God.
Because he's basically begging her to play a game of cards with him, but he's so desperate and he's like, what's your game? What do you want to play? I need to bet. And it's played off as a joke, but it is horrifying.
I don't know. I think the drunk driving might be worse because it's the beloved uncle that we're supposed to like, as opposed to this strange shop owner.
Yeah, fair enough. And then also the central MacGuffin of this movie is the money, but it's unclear if the money would even be worth anything because they are larger and older bills.
Yeah.
Is the plot point is that there's a different president, or who is it? I forget even what the swap was.
Andrew Jackson instead of Hamilton or something like that.
Yeah. Yes. And they're 33% bigger.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you'd be able to spend them, but you can maybe sell them to collectors. I don't know. That's what the thought is. And, don't forget, there's ghosts in this movie. Which the
movie just kind of dismisses when they're done with it. They're just like, yeah.
You do see like actual like see-through people at one point when Sarah's having a dream, I think. Mm-hmm. You see the Rita and Mo as ghosts, but then later you find out that it's like the crazy old lady in the woods who believes that aliens are coming to get her if she doesn't pretend that there's ghosts or something. But the effect,
that is the explanation that the movie offers.
She's basically got like these like I don't know, like styrofoam things covered in Christmas lights, but it shows that it makes this like ghost effect, which makes no sense. Like they just look like lights, but even when they show it like knocked over on the ground, they show it like kind of spurting to life at one point, and you see this like floating ghost projection that would not be happening with Christmas lights like that.
Yeah, they're trying to imply that she uses some sort of invisible Pepper's ghost illusion. Because it's definitely not, there's definitely nothing there when it's an illusion, but when you turn it off, it's like an actual apparatus.
Yeah, no, it looks like she just like massacred some Christmas reindeer lights that she just shaped in the shape of ghosts.
Yeah. It's like that was one of the most Scooby-Doo things where it's like, oh, it's just the janitor pretending to make ghosts in the hallway. Yeah.
But she wasn't even part of like the evil plot. It was completely divorced.
It was aliens.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was just trying to scare people away from that area for reasons.
It was just lazy writing justifying the ghost plot that we've had for the previous 3/4 of the movie.
Eliz, I was going to ask too what you thought about the fact that, early on in the movie, they made a really big deal about making sure that everyone knows that Beethoven has psychic powers, or St. Bernards in general have psychic powers, and then he proceeds to have no psychic powers the rest of the movie.
I know. I got kind of excited when they said that because I was like, they're finally acknowledging that Beethoven is psychic, like especially Sarah, of all people, should be the one to know this. But yeah, okay, so he's not really as good as he used to be, but at least he's not like completely stupid anymore. Like I think this Beethoven is a step up from the Beethoven we saw in 4, certainly, and probably also 3.
Yeah, I just felt weird. Like this Beethoven in this movie, I don't know. I felt like he was almost like a background character for most of the film. Like it was not about him very much at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really think that it was like some other like,
I think
Disney
right.
Channel original movie vehicle, or like a reboot of Nancy Drew, or like a sequel of Harriet the Spy. Then they were like, let's throw Beethoven in there. We got to make a 5th one.
Yeah, it's
title
like
reasons.
I don't know. You heard in the trailer, like he is pretty much mostly relegated to like going the entire movie, like reacting to Dave Thomas's groan-inducing jokes. Beethoven is all of us when Dave Thomas tries to say something funny. In this movie.
But he at least like protects them when the house is being broken into, kind of, and like he actually like seems legitimate sometimes in this one.
Yeah,
not just like insane and purposely like
where he'd murder one of the kids for a hot dog.
Yeah,
that's true.
Speaking of murdering people for no reason, the way that Uncle Freddy cleans his kitchen with a fire hose,
he's gonna have a mold problem.
Yes.
He's gonna have a very serious mold problem.
Very painful for Beethoven. And I just forgot her name. Sarah. Yeah, not cool.
He put in the linoleum or whatever just for that purpose.
Yeah, so he's out the house.
Like, just so I can do this.
He's handy. He's a mechanic.
Yeah, it didn't seem like a good idea. And also like the first moments, when he's like going around the house and trying to find stuff for her to eat was grossing me out. Oh, the other thing that was grossing me out real bad was the part in the middle when he is Dave Thomas is eating ice cream out in the city with the kids, and Beethoven's like there's all this like CG drool like falling into his like vanilla ice cream bowl. And I thought he was just going to eat it, but luckily he was aware that was happening, but it was so sick still.
Super gross.
That was grossing me out real bad.
So as some of these movies, when they're pretty bad, I try to search for talking points. And at times like these, I turn to the Rotten Tomatoes reviews and try to find, some sort of gold
Indeed.
there. This movie only has one review. It's the only one review. It's a user review, and it gives it 3 stars. It says, even move, all caps, MOVE, Beethoven-ness.
What?
Even move Beethoven-ness. I love it. That's perfect.
And I think that pretty much says it. I think that's about right.
I was trying to look up the Common Sense Media thing for this movie, and it doesn't exist. Like, this movie is so no one cares about it. You can't even find the what do parents think about this movie? But there were
Talk to your children about drunk driving
yeah, exactly. That's you'd think they'd be mentioning that in that
and counterfeit bills.
The
Yep.
I did briefly look on Letterboxd, and there were a bunch of people posting oh, I loved this movie when I was a kid, or I watched this, or I don't know why, but I have this on DVD or something, It did seem like there were a few people that enjoyed it when they were kids, which I guess makes sense, but
I can definitely see that more so than the previous movie. I could this at least has the rhythms of a kid's movie where allegedly funny stuff happens that I could see, as a kid when you don't care what you watched. I could see having a fond memory of this movie.
Well, and none of the
if you were a certain age.
None of the characters that we're supposed to like are evil. So yeah, okay. Well, speaking of, let's talk about the child stars.
Do it.
Or the child star check-in. So Davy Chase, we know her. If you even search for her name on Twitter, you'll see about 1 tweet per day of someone saying, "Oh my God, Lilo and the girl from The Ring are the same girl in the same year." What? Okay, people still can't believe that to this day. But yes, that's her. She was the voice of Lilo in the original movie and all the subsequent TV shows and sequels. And then she was Samara in the original Ring movies, and she was in Donnie Darko, and quite well known for being a little teeny tweeny bopper star at the time. And recently she's been kind of MIA. She's had some I guess you could say minor run-ins with the law, nothing major, but she's had a couple of misdemeanor drug possession charges. And that's from the tabloids. It's unclear to me if that just means weed before, or if it is what, a couple of ecstasy tablets, or, not a big deal, or if it was hard drugs. I don't really know. But she also was arrested one time for driving a stolen vehicle, which is really more of a driving a vehicle without the owner's permission thing, more than an actual robbery. And then at some point in 2018, she, I guess, was partying with a friend who she left at the hospital and alerted them that he was there, and then ran away, and he died in the car.
Oh my
God. So they tried to bring her in for that, but they found that there was no evidence of foul play. She just said, we were hanging out and I tried to get him help, and that's what happened. So yeah, she's been pretty quiet, not really acting, not really posting anywhere, but those are the few things you can find out about her in the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, now we know where she got that stolen car idea from. Dave Thomas is driving other people's cars the entire movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
okay. Our friend Garrett, I'm 90% sure that this is him. But again, I'm not totally sure. And yeah, I think you're right. There is some subset of kids that did watch this movie, because there are lots of articles and searches of what happened to this guy? Who is he? Where is he?
Makes sense.
Of people posting, wanting to earnestly know where he is. But I'm about 90% sure that he went to the University of Florida. So he went back to Florida to finish high school after doing 5 years in Hollywood. And then he went to University of Florida, and then he went to Wharton and got his MBA. And he is now a private equity senior associate at Blackstone in New York. So
there you go.
Working with money.
He knew what he was talking about with that Lost City.
And finally, the strange children that it is implicitly said that they are inbred and strange. One of them, the only one that's credited out of all three of them, his name is Wayne Dalglish, and he's super famous. He's a stunt coordinator, choreographer, and stunt performer, and he worked on films such as Batman vs. Superman, Wonder Woman, Thor: Dark World, and all the Deadpools, and lots of other movies.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So he might have also just been on the lot, you know, and they were like, we need a kid. So who knows?
Oh man. Well, that's not so terrible for the child star check-ins. Yeah.
No, could be way worse.
Definitely.
And has been.
Yeah. That just reminded me, we're talking about Dave Thomas and all the different cars he drives. I don't know about you guys, but I got real excited when a hearse showed up on the screen.
Yeah. You're like, boy.
Yeah. I was like, oh, snap. Phantasm reference, but not really. But.
He also drove like most of the cars from Cars. And the lady that plays crazy old Cora, Catherine Hellmund, is the actual voice of Lizzie in the Cars franchise.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So you're saying that Paul Newman was in the backseat of his truck?
Could be.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, I mean, it turns out that Beethoven did know where the money was, and they dig it up. End of story. No, I'm kidding.
Well, they give it to the town to like fix the library and stuff.
Yeah,
they don't
nice.
like get this guy a better house or give it to Sarah to go to college or something.
He doesn't want one. I mean, there is one thing that is kind of interesting that we haven't seen is that, Uncle Freddie doesn't care that Beethoven's messy. Doesn't care that he's a kindred spirit with him, which is like works better than what they tried to do with Judge Reinhold in the last one of just like make him turn into not a character anymore. Just be one dimensional, like reduce yourself 2 dimensions and just be this character, which is at least an interesting dynamic over the course of sequels for these kids. Like I do appreciate at least them trying to change the adult part of the storytelling.
Yeah, and I think, not that it's like some kind of brilliant, nuanced storytelling, but the relationship between Sarah and Freddie and this kid Garrett and how she sort of comes to, appreciate the town for its weirdness and whatever. Like, at least it's like a pleasant, positive, like story where you don't wish she was dead or something, but no, I mean, like, they have a nice relationship. By the end of the summer, they love each other very much, and she wants to come back next summer.
Yeah. She wants to attend Camp Freddy again.
There's an arc. Should we talk about Freddy's meet cute and that whole weirdness?
Sheriff Julie?
Sheriff Julie?
Yeah, I mean, that's like one of the main things Beethoven tries to facilitate in this movie.
As always, Beethoven is a matchmaker.
Yes,
matchmaker first, treasure hunter second.
That's right. Child rescuer third at this point, I guess.
Third, yeah. Matchmaker, child rescuer, treasure hunter.
Treasure hunter. Yeah, I don't know. They have some connection because they both know about wrestling.
No, he was like, her dad was a wrestler, and like he was just like obviously way older than her. And was super into like when her dad was a wrestler.
Yeah, I didn't think that she would ever be interested in him, but okay.
No, I couldn't tell if that was just like a Dave Thomas thing or what, but it was just, I was like, all of this makes me uncomfortable.
I kind of forgot that she was on that sitcom with Kelly Ripa. It was like named after her, like, because her name's Faith Ford, and the thing was called Hope and Faith, and Kelly Ripa was Hope, and then she was Faith.
I totally forgot about that show. Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes. Oh, man. That's funny.
I mean, is that it? I think that might be it.
I got nothing. Like it was such a nothing. It was less offensive at least than the last two, but it was just okay.
Okay,
Yep.
It says on Wikipedia that Beethoven is credited as J.S. Bach. Is that real? I didn't see that in the credits.
I thought it was Cujo again.
It says
I thought it was
played
Cujo
by
again,
J.S. Bach.
I'm actually on the one for Beethoven's Big Break as I scroll down on the Wikipedia. I didn't mean to be, but it just says cast a Saint Bernard as Beethoven, and it links to the Saint Bernard article.
A Saint Bernard. Oh man, yeah. This
Beethoven's Big Break, huh?
Yeah, that's the next one.
Oh, you guys!
What?
There's things to be excited for. There is.
You're spoiling the next movie already?
Don't spoil it.
We haven't even finished this one.
Yeah, wait. We got to rate this one before we should speculate.
Man.
How many bowls of ice cream breakfast would you give?
Hey, it's got it's got milk, dairy, protein, and fruit, right? What was the protein in that banana split?
I don't know.
Banana?
Banana? Oh, I guess. I don't know. I thought that was the fruit, but whatever.
Yeah.
maybe he had some walnuts on there or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, this is generous, but it's offended me so much less than the last two that I'm going to give it 3 bowls of ice cream breakfast. Because it was fine,
I'm going to continue to give this a 1 because
wow,
I was
harsh.
bored by this movie and none of the jokes landed for me pretty much. And I was just like, what are we
So
watching?
like you'd rather be mad than bored?
Yeah, I'd rather
be bored than mad.
watch the last movie again than this movie, honestly.
Oh no, hell no.
Yeah, I would. I didn't think anything was funny in this movie. Beethoven, is like a side character, pretty much. Nothing. I don't know. I would not recommend this movie, but I mean, maybe kids would enjoy it. But nope.
Yeah.
Next
I'm
movie.
gonna give it 3. I'm gonna agree with you, Liz. Like
Yeah.
I didn't think that it was. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
That last movie just made me angry, like Judge Reinhold. Although now that I'm thinking back to it, his boss was incredible.
Yeah, I was like, there's no fun side characters or anything. Nothing fun in this movie that made me laugh. Like I even was like. Normally I'm like, oh man, I got to go back and grab this hilarious soundbite. There's nothing in this movie that made me want to.
Yeah,
grab
no one
anything.
has a joke that lands. It's, I mean, the only one is the subtle joke of the guy being like, I take mercury every day.
Yeah, but
that's it.
even that was like, oh, that's.
I do think maybe this is just like me personally being such a super theme park nerd. I enjoyed every shot trying to figure out where exactly they were on the lot and from what angle. Like I did a couple of 5Ks and 10Ks at Universal before the pandemic. And so we ran through all of those roads on the back lot, like back and forth because it's not that big. So to do a 10K, you really had to zigzag.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed looking at it for those reasons. The other big thing that was bothering me during the whole movie is that not the main Beethoven theme by Randy Edelman, but whatever the main lick is that was for this movie is like one note off from this part of Beauty and the Beast. That's like that part of Beauty and the Beast. And they play that lick of notes like over and over again. And I'm just like, oh God, I can't stop hearing Beauty and the Beast. I don't know. I have that disease like that about Disney music.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, the music in this, at least the music in the last one really went hard on the like dun 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 all the time.
Yeah.
This movie did it like a couple times, but it was not.
I know, and this was the 5th. This was the one to do it.
Yeah, it was a waste. The whole movie was a waste. Don't watch it. Don't do it. Get excited for Beethoven's Big Break. He's finally going to be famous after all these years. What now?
It's going to be so meta.
Yeah.
And more importantly, we have no reason to leave the back lot.
That's right. Just film it
None
from
whatsoever.
a different angle. Yeah, that's right. Maybe they'll that would be funny if it's even more universal backlot.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Looks like it could just be on sound stages. You don't have to deal with the backlot even.
That's true. That's true.
Hey, dog, we're going to put you in pictures.
I I wonder how many times they're going to be like, wow, I can't believe it's Beethoven's big break. It's happening right now. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, I wonder if it is going to be like, we need to make a movie about how crazy this dog is and messing up a family.
What if it's like a total framing, like the real story of like the Beethoven that was in the movies, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we acknowledge that Beethoven was a movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I wanted to start off like it's a regular Beethoven movie, and then all of a sudden, like, you hear the director go like,
And cut.
Yeah. All right, Beethoven, get over here. Good boy. Yeah.
Beethoven's okay.
Oh, go ahead, please. I was going to say, we think? Oh.
Go.
I'm going to shut up. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I would bet $1 million that Beethoven's going to knock over and jump onto a craft services table.
Yes. My question was, is this the time that we see him actually on a Swiss mountain saving somebody on a movie set?
Oh. Yeah. Or, yeah, what is his role going to be in this movie? Secret agent dog?
I hope that he sings No Dames. Channing Tatum style.
Is he going to wear cool Hollywood sunglasses in this movie? Or a tuxedo?
I say also that the flash bulbs of the paparazzi are going to cause Beethoven to like freak out at some point.
They're going to bring back you're saying they're going to bring back the animatronic Beethoven to go woo with its eyes?
Maybe.
I mean, I want that to happen because if it doesn't have animatronic shot, it's not quite Beethoven.
I want to watch an episode of the Disney Plus show Prop Culture, all about the Beethoven animatronic. Where is it now? Let's bring back the Beethoven animatronic.
That'll be on Peacock.
That's right. That would be nuts. I mean, that's probably destroyed, but if it's out there, I would love to see it. That'd be so funny. Anyways.
Well, if you know where it is, Eliz, where can they email us?
Please immediately let us know at sequelrights@gmail.com and also on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at sequelrights.
And please rate and review us. If in your review, you leave us what your pitch for Beethoven's meta movie would be, we will talk about it on the air. So please do so.
That's right. And until then, we'll see you guys on set next week for Beethoven's Big Break.